Imagine a world where everyone still uses BlackBerry phones with physical keyboards, where Nokia dominates the mobile market, where apps don't exist because there's no app store, where Uber and Instagram and what never launched because smartphones never took off, where Steve Jobs is remembered for the iPod but his phone experiment is called his biggest failure. This almost happened. In January 2007, Steve Jobs walked on stage and unveiled the iPhone. No physical keyboard, no stylus, just a touch screen. It cost $500. Most people thought he was crazy. 6 months later it launched, and it could have flopped, but it didn't. And that changed everything. But what if it had? Let's set the scene. January 2007. Steve Jobs unveils the iPhone at The demo is incredible. He shows off the touch screen, multi-touch gestures, pinch to zoom, mobile Safari web browser, visual voicemail. The crowd goes wild, but outside that room, the reaction is different. Steve Ballmer, CEO of Microsoft, laughs on camera. He says the iPhone will never sell $500. No physical keyboard. Nobody will buy it. He's confident. Microsoft has Windows Mobile. They're partnered with every manufacturer. They think they've already won. The tech press is skeptical too. They say touchscreens don't work, that people need physical keyboards for email, that $500 is too expensive, that the battery won't last, that it's locked to a TNT. The criticism is everywhere. But in real life, the iPhone succeeded. It launched in June 2007. Sold 6 million units in the first year, changed the entire mobile industry. Today, Apple has sold over 2 billion iPhones. It's the most successful product in history. But what if Ballmer was right? What if it flopped? So let's imagine the alternate timeline. June 2007. iPhone launches. The first weekend is disappointing. Long lines at Apple stores, but not massive. Reviews are mixed. The touchscreen keyboard is hard to use. People keep making typos. The phone is slow on AT&T's network. The battery dies by afternoon. Apps are limited. You can't even copy and paste text. No MMS, no video recording, and $500 for a phone feels insane when you can get a BlackBerry for $200. By August 2007, sales are declining. Apple cuts the price to $399. Early buyers are furious. Steve Jobs issues an apology and gives them store credit. But the damage is done. By the end of 2007, Apple has sold maybe 1 million iPhones. Not the 6 million they actually sold. It's not a disaster. But it's not a success either. The problem is expectations. The iPod sold tens of millions. Wall Street expected the iPhone to be just as big. When it's not, Apple's stock drops. Investors question whether Apple can do hardware beyond music players. Steve Jobs is under pressure. He's bet the company on this phone. If it fails, his legacy is damaged. By 2008, Apple makes a decision. They pivot. They release iPhone 2 with a physical keyboard, a slide-out QWERTY keyboard like the Sidekick. It's a compromise. They keep the touchscreen for web browsing, but add the keyboard for email. It's not what Jobs wanted. But sales are weak. They have to adapt. iPhone 2, with the keyboard, does better. Sells maybe 3 million units. It's respectable, but it's not revolutionary. It's just another smartphone in a crowded market. Apple becomes a player in phones, but not the dominant force. The iPhone is seen as a nice phone for Apple fans, but not a mass-market device. Now, let's look at what happens to the rest of the mobile industry. Without the iPhone succeeding, BlackBerry stays dominant. The BlackBerry Curve and Bold are the phones everyone wants. Business professionals love the keyboard. BBM BlackBerry Messenger is the messaging app everyone uses. In 2010, BlackBerry has 60% market share. They're unstoppable. Nokia stays strong too. Symbian, their operating system, powers hundreds of millions of phones globally. They're especially dominant in Europe and Asia. The Nokia N95 is considered the best smartphone. Camera, GPS, apps, it does everything. Without the iPhone disrupting them, Nokia keeps innovating on Symbian. Microsoft makes a comeback. Windows Mobile improves. They partner with HTC, Samsung, LG by 2010. Windows phones have 20% market share. Steve Ballmer's laugh about the iPhone was right. Microsoft is winning mobile. And then there's Android. This is where it gets interesting. Google still launches Android in 2008. The T-Mobile G1 still comes out. But without the iPhone setting the standard for touchscreen devices, Android develops very differently. The first Android phones have physical keyboards. They look like BlackBerries, because that's what the market wants. Android grows, but slowly. It's the open alternative to Windows Mobile. Manufacturers like it because it's free, but it's not revolutionary. It's just another mobile OS. By 2012, Android has 15% market share. Solid but not dominant. The mobile market is fragmented. BlackBerry leads, Nokia second, Windows Mobile third, Android fourth, Apple fifth with their niche iPhone. Now the big question, what about apps? In real life, Apple launched the App Store in July 2008. It changed everything. Suddenly, anyone could build software for the iPhone. Instagram launched in 2010. Uber in 2009. WhatsApp in 2009. Angry Birds. The App Store created entire industries. But if the iPhone flopped, the App Store never takes off. It still launches, but with limited iPhone sales, developers don't care. Why build for 5 million users when BlackBerry has 200 million? The App Store has a few thousand apps. Mostly games and utilities. Nothing revolutionary. BlackBerry launches their own App Store, BlackBerry App World. It's okay. Some apps, some games, but it's limited because developing for BlackBerry is hard. Nokia has Ovi Store, also limited. Windows Mobile has their marketplace, also limited. The app ecosystem stays small. Apps exist, but they're not the center of mobile life like they became in real life. This means no Instagram. Instagram required a powerful camera and easy photo sharing. iPhones had that. BlackBerries didn't. Without the iPhone succeeding, Instagram never launches. Or it launches much later as a web service. No Uber. Uber needed GPS, always on internet, and apps. Technically possible on other smartphones, but the iPhone made it easy. Without the iPhone's success, proving the model. Uber doesn't launch in 2009. Maybe it launches in 2014 or 2015, or someone else builds it. No WhatsApp as we know it. WhatsApp launched for iPhone in 2009. Without iPhone's success, it probably launches for BlackBerry first. Competes with BBM, maybe succeeds, maybe doesn't. The app economy that created millions of jobs doesn't emerge, or it emerges 5 to 10 years later. The mobile-first world we live in doesn't happen on the same timeline. Gaming changes too. Mobile gaming in real life is massive. Candy Crush, Clash of Clans, Pokémon Go, all built on iPhone and Android success. Without smartphones taking off, mobile gaming stays Nintendo DS and PSP territory. Handheld consoles stay relevant longer. Social media develops differently. Twitter launched in 2006, but it exploded because of iPhone. Tweeting from your phone became normal. Without iPhone, Twitter grows slower. Maybe Facebook still dominates. But the mobile-first social media era is delayed. Photography changes. The iPhone made everyone a photographer. Instagram made it social. Professional cameras stayed relevant longer because phone cameras stayed mediocre. The iPhone 4 in 2010 had a great camera. But without iPhone success, phone cameras don't get that investment. What about tablets? Apple launched the iPad in 2010. It succeeded because iPhone proved touchscreens work. Without that proof, iPad maybe flops too, or never launches. Microsoft's tablet PC from 2002 stays the standard. Tablets with styluses and keyboards. The vision of pure touchscreen tablets doesn't take off. Steve Jobs' legacy changes too. In real life, Jobs is remembered as a visionary who saved Apple twice. The iMac in 1998, the iPhone in 2007. If iPhone flops, his legacy is the iPod, and bringing Apple back from bankruptcy. Still impressive, but not the godlike status he achieved. He probably still dies of cancer in 2011. But the mourning is less intense. He's a great CEO. Not the greatest. Apple, as a company, survives. They're still making Macs and iPods. Maybe they're a $50 to $100 billion company. Successful but not the most valuable company on earth. They never hit the $3 trillion market cap they reached in real life. The economic impact is massive. Apple's iPhone success created millions of jobs. App developers, accessory makers, repair shops, content creators, influencers whose entire careers are built on phone cameras. None of that happens on the same scale. China's manufacturing boom is smaller. Foxconn became massive making iPhones. Without that, their growth is slower. The entire Shenzhen electronics ecosystem that emerged around iPhone production doesn't explode the same way. So what's the alternate 2024 look like?